Good morning, rest of the world. Welcome to Colorado. It's kind of cold right now. If you've been keeping up with the news as of late, or you've just had this article shoved into your Facebook newsfeed, you would know that Microsoft just passed up Apple as the world's most valuable company at 800 something billion. A lot of the financial world is freaking out right now because Apple not too long ago was valued at over $1.1 trillion. So for people that don't know a whole lot about finance and how market cap works or anything like that, they would say, yes, finally, Apple's going down. I knew the iPhone would flop one day. And if you're one of those people that's praying for the day for Apple to fail, I have very bad news for you. This isn't gonna happen anytime soon. If you're wondering how Microsoft became the world's most valuable company at $800 billion when Apple was just valued at $1.1 trillion last month, the reason is because Apple recently announced that they were no longer gonna announce how many iPhones they sell in a quarter. It goes without saying that definitely gave the stock market a big scare. A lot of investors, analysts were terrified, especially after reports came out that Apple was cutting production of their newest iPhone due to low demand. Which could be true, and I'm not gonna deny that it isn't true, but Apple isn't gonna comment on any of this. Really, our only identifier if Apple is a successful company anymore is to see if they're generating year-over-year growth every quarter in revenue. iPhone sale indicators are gone. We can't use that anymore. Apple's not going to disclose that information, whether you're happy about that or you're not. But if you're a person that's worried about Apple slowing down as a company because of low iPhone sales, let me ask you this. If I was a person that was able to put food on your table and a lot of money into your bank account by working a singular job, and you knew about this job and you were happy about me working at this job and providing you this stuff, if I came home one day and I said, hey, listen, I'm getting lower hours at this job, but don't worry, I've got other streams of income now. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna be returning to you 20% each year more than I do the previous year. What would you think about that? Would you be upset? Would you panic? Aside from wondering what I'm doing exactly to get that extra money, you're probably gonna be pretty excited. Well, this is how it should be viewed for Apple, because aside from weak iPhone sales, if that really is a thing right now, Apple's making plenty of money in other sectors as well. Okay, hold up. There's a deer right there. Just as an example for another way that Apple makes money, you can take a look at Apple services, which is essentially monthly subscription Apple services like Apple Music and iCloud. Okay, now this past quarter, Apple services made $10 billion alone. Just Apple Music, iCloud, and whatever else there is. Do you know how much money Microsoft as a whole made last quarter? About 29 billion. So if Apple services can make up 1/3 of what Microsoft as a whole makes up in one quarter, that says something. iPhone sales account for another $50 billion on top of that 10 billion, and App Store sales accounts for another $2 billion every quarter for Apple. And this is just the fourth quarter. This isn't even the busiest quarter for Apple. So when you add all of that up, this past quarter, Apple made about $66 billion in revenue compared to Microsoft's $29 billion in revenue. So for most of you, it's very clear to see how big of a money machine Apple is compared to Microsoft. But for those of you that can't quite see it yet, let me tell you this. Last year, in 2017, the total amount of money that Microsoft reeled in revenue, and this is true, was $89 billion, close to 90 billion. Do you know what Apple made just this first quarter in 2018? Just in one quarter, 3 months, Apple made $88 billion. Apple is making in one quarter what Microsoft makes in an entire year. I can understand that the stock market at times can be emotional, right? But if you don't do your own research and you listen to these reports about Microsoft is now the most valuable company passing up Apple, you can get lost in it if you don't do your own research. If you're not aware, this is how a lot of stock market manipulation happens. It's basically how the stock market moves, is upon rumors. Very little of it is actually about sales. Most of it is just, oh, what's gonna happen to this company in the future? Is there another deer behind me? In actuality, this report of Microsoft replacing Apple as the world's most valuable company, though it's true at the moment, it's a very short-term fix and it's not real. In the long term, or by next quarter, analysts will start to see that Apple doesn't actually need large amount of iPhone sales to generate more revenue year over year. They'll see that Apple is now setting their future in the services sector where they can just collect money month after month. Fun fact, guess how long it would take for Apple to actually make $1 trillion in pure revenue? How long do you think it would take? It'd take about 3.5 years. You know how long it'd take Microsoft? About 8 years. I'm home now and I cut my finger jumping over a fence. But what do you guys think about this whole Apple and Microsoft thing going on? I didn't really do an outro while I was out there. I guess I'm not really used to this stuff. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.